And I'm guilty of this. I'm the first to admit I am guilty of making fun of Michael Jackson. I did. Oh no, they're coming after me. I'm in a lot of trouble now. Oh no. And it's all done tongue in cheek. It's for laughs. It's for fun. But I never questioned whether Michael Jackson was an abused child and whether or not there were many layers to why he ended up where he did. But I will tell you, I never for a moment stopped to think, well, maybe, just maybe, there's more to than what meets the eye. Perhaps he wasn't a child abuser. Perhaps there was more to this story that we were not made aware of. Now, we're going to get to the unfolding of the story. But Michael wrote a song called Palestine, Don't Cry. Now, I can't play it, even though certain AI has rendered that song. I'd rather not chance our channel getting shut down, but I am going to read the lyrics to you now. Let's see if I could get to the front of this. Palestine, don't cry. So here we go. And I'm not going to do this as a joke. I'm going to do this very seriously. And I want to make sure that it's read properly. See the plains of the days of old, just a century ago, when stories of peace were told, of how Galilee ran through the Jordan River. What remains are cold tales of war, of the death and dying, bombshells are flying, bodies multiplying, see the children crying. What are they fighting for? And the chorus goes, I will pray for you, O Palestine, O Palestine. I will carry you, O Palestine, Palestine. Palestine, come deep in my heart, I'll always love you. Palestine, don't cry, I will pray for you. O Palestine, O Palestine, O Palestine. God's a place for you, O Palestine. And I believe in you, O Palestine. I will die for you. I will pray for you, O Palestine, O Palestine. I will carry you, O Palestine, Palestine. This song was written, it was recorded, but not released, at the end of 1992, early 1993. This, I believe, was the first song that he put together for what was to be his follow-up album to the last major album he released in 1992, Dangerous. You know, when you really think about it, Michael Jackson, for all of his success, only had like 5 albums. He had, well, in terms of a solo career, now that I think about it, he only had 4 albums. He had Off the Wall, he had Thriller, he had Bad, and he had Dangerous. And then everything stopped. It's funny you bring that up. So Michael obviously went through a lot trying to regain his reputation. Rabbi Shmuley became his spiritual advisor. So when you see these photographs of all of these celebrities that are taken with this dingbat, you have to know that it's basically just another form of blackmail. That you are going to do as you're told. And the dildo salesman is going to make sure that you get your mind right. MJ's dad did destroy his life, like a lot of parents who push their children into a similar career. Why do you think Michael Jackson and Macaulay Culkin were so close? They basically had the same father. If you're into butt play, that's your business. Point is, when you see somebody of incredible prominence who's been taken down several pegs and has now been placed in the position where they have to do everything they can to salvage their reputation, and especially if you insult the wrong community, this is the person that they're going to stick you with. And there's very little you can do about it, unless you want to be completely excommunicated, or dare I say, removed. Again, think about all the people like RFK, Tulsi Gabbard, Sean Penn. I could go on and on. But when they show up arm in arm with Shmuley, well, you know they done fucked up somewhere. And now they have to make amends, repent, and make it right. Check this out. Now, we're going to have to stop and go with this quite a bit. I want you to watch this again very carefully. After his trip to Israel during the dangerous tour, he came back and made a song about it because he went to Palestine. Sony Records refused to release the song. Actually, it was some very high-profile Jewish Zionists that refused to allow the song to be released, but I digress. Two months later, the first claims of child abuse begin. 2 months. 2 months later, child abuse charges against MJ. The people who conspired against him just happened to be Jewish, the accuser and the psychiatrist of the victim. Now, here's where it gets very, very dirty. His sister, LaToya, who couldn't sing, did a press conference in Tel Aviv. She publicly said she believed Michael was a pedo, that he's committed crimes against children. Here's what you probably didn't know. Years later, in 2011, she confessed her husband was abusive and forced her to say those things. Now, I want to get this person's name right, in case anybody is curious. This gentleman's name is Jack Gordon. Now, unfortunately, Jack Gordon's no longer with us, so we can't question him. Now, this part I do want to play. MJ grew tired of the coordinated Zionist attack and started calling them out. Now, you can play these things for 5 seconds before they grab you, but you can hear that he's had enough. He's had enough. When you see somebody completely deteriorate as a human, and that happens in many ways, physically, he obviously decided to mutilate his entire physical makeup. He was a handsome fellow when he was a young guy. But again, he couldn't stop, and he didn't stop. Play a little bit more. I told you to stop doing that, please. Now remember, you can play it in increments of 5 seconds. That's how it works. In order to stay in the music business, he had to apologize, and Rabbi Shmuley became his spiritual advisor. Neverland Ranch gets raided, goes to court to answer new indictments. Jury finds Jackson not guilty after 32 hours deliberation. Anti-Semitic phone rant leaked. Now listen carefully.
I was so tired of it. They start out the most popular person in the world, make a lot of money, big house, cars, and everything, end up with penniless. It is conspiracy. The Jews do it on purpose.
Now, unfortunately, it becomes a Jew problem when you're surrounded by everybody who is Jewish and is pro-Israel, Zionist, etc. And this is a common practice within the music business. Jackson does not respond publicly. Some link this to frustrations with Sony executives like Tommy Mottola, Italian, whom he accused of exploitation. Tommy Mottola has quite the reputation. Just ask Mariah Carey. The last thing, let's get back to that. The last thing we can hear, damn this thing, come on. The last thing we can hear from MJ is the phone call where he predicts his death. This apparently is from the night before he died.
Maybe a group of people don't need to dress me about it. Or your phone. They could kill me. They could stab me. They could frame me and say I overdosed with drugs.
The day before he dies, he puts out this message. I mean, you got to be kidding me. They could frame me and say I overdosed on drugs. They could frame me and say I overdosed on drugs. The great noticing. I'm going to play this clip. Yeah. Well, Oprah's got a lot to answer for, including Lahaina. Let's not talk about that too loudly right now. To fully understand Michael Jackson, to fully understand who he was, why he did what he did, why he acted the way he acted, this is one of the best explanations in a short window of conversation that I think explains it best.
Read all the things written about me. I wasn't aware that the world thought I was so weird and bizarre. But when you grow up, as I did, in front of 100 million people since the age of 5, you're automatically different. My childhood was completely taken away from me. There was no Christmas, there was no birthdays. It was not a normal childhood, no normal pleasures of childhood. Those were exchanged for hard work, struggle, and pain. And that's why I love children and learn so much from being around them. I realized that many of our world's problems today, from the inner city crime to large-scale wars and terrorism and our overcrowded prisons, are a result of the fact that children have had their childhood stolen from them.
There have been reports that Michael saved many kids from going to Epstein's Island. This has even been suggested, again, I can't verify it, but it's been suggested that Macaulay Culkin said as much. Can't verify that. I'm not going to claim that that's the truth, but it's certainly possible. What I do believe is that Michael was a deeply troubled person, for sure. He had a lot of quirks. And again, somebody alluded to in the chat, and I agree, the time that he went over the balcony with the baby, I think that was like 2002, if I remember correctly. Very odd behavior. But the timing of everything really puts it all into perspective. Many people didn't know about this song, Palestine Don't Cry. I didn't know about it. I didn't know it existed. I do now. And you're telling me that this song that he wanted to release as part of his greatest hits album that ultimately came out in 1995, you're telling me that this song was shelved by Tommy Mottola at the beginning of 1993? And the next thing you know, he has child sex crimes brought against him? And they're all connected to the Zionist Jewish cabal? And if that's not enough, he has to take on Shmuley as his spiritual advisor? You couldn't make it more obvious that this was a hit job.